Hey everyone, this is Mike here for another GT6 seasonal event. This is the Formula Gran Turismo Super Lap on Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit. Obviously you want to use the Formula GT car. You can pick it up in the dealership. It's in the Asia lot. There's a Gran Turismo one which has the car in it, in case you're wondering where it is. Racing hard tires, front and rear. Suspension wise, there's some tweaks. I loosened up the front end a bit. Just to give it some extra roll, and I took off some of the toe in the back because the car does have a lot of straight lining. So we'll go through the setup: 40, 45, 16.4 and 17.5, 68, 68, 57, 22, and minus 0.25 and minus 0.1 for toe. So pretty straightforward, right? Dampers and anti-roll bars are down by 2, spring rates down by 1, and that's pretty much it. Braking balance, 5 and 2. You do want to take off some of the rear braking. Transmission, I put it extra long at 400. I think by default it's 360k an hour. But I put it 400 to help manage some of the torque, which we'll look at in a sec. 15, 25, and 15 for the limited slip diff. Power-wise, so when you buy the car, you can do an oil change right away, and it'll give you a lot of extra power. And because of that, I had to bring down the power to 93.8%, or else I'm above the 880 performance points. So if you use the oil change trick, you have to do this. If you don't, obviously you can skip this step. And in terms of downforce, 650 front and 900 rear. So it's got a lot of downforce. Like I said, it's not an ideal setup, but it seems to work fairly well. And I think my time is like in the thousands already, 794th. So I mean, that's not too bad. Then again, the event just came out, so all the real times haven't been put in yet. We'll go through it. You can get a good 2 seconds. We'll actually do 2 laps because I know this is going to be a particularly challenging event for some people. The hardest part is the controller. I'm running traction control at 5 and ABS at 3. You see right off the start, this is going to be kind of a basic ghost car lap. And I immediately lost control of the rear end twice in the first 2 corners. But yeah, once you start getting used to it, it's not too bad. The big trick is to drive with the downforce. And right now the car's set up so the front end pushes a lot more than the rear end slides. So, you know, that's why it's not an ideal setup. Front end needs a bit more grip, but it'll do the job. And if you look at the bottom left of my throttle input, this is why I'm running traction control all the time. You'll see it kind of flutter a lot. You know, I can only do like half, 3/4, or full throttle. I can't really do anything in between that very easily. It's very hard with the controller. We'll talk about braking and all that on the next lap. This first lap, like I said, was just a basic setup lap just to get a ghost car. And it happened to be good enough for a gold time, so the second lap I'll be able to pass my ghost car, which I'll pass it right at the beginning, and then I'll lose a bit of time before the straight bit, and then I'll make up some time around these corners here. Like here I'm going really slowly, because the track does come back at you. That's a corner you have to apex a bit later than that, so you can get a lot of acceleration down. But you'll notice too, I keep it in a fairly high gear. I try and upshift early just to help manage the torque, because the rear end does slide around pretty easily. So yeah, brake, there's kind of a white line on the wall on the right you can use to brake. That corner you can usually go flat out. This corner here I brake where the curbing starts on the left, and this is where I lose all the time over my ghost car. I lose quite a bit of time here because I go an absolutely awful line. You can take this left-hander flat out as well if you get it right. Braking for this corner is where the curbing starts, maybe a bit later. It's a fairly conservative, safe area to start braking, but you'll notice I'm on the throttle almost the whole way through. And then here, yeah, careful not too much throttle. Obviously this part's flat out. The right-hander, I ended up doing a double downshift here again, where the red line starts on the wall on the right, or the last red stripe, if you will. A bit of a lift, brake, turn it in, lift here, lift here. It is reasonable section. It's far from ideal. You have to be careful not to get over the line, the car completely over the line, because it will disqualify you instantly. That's why here I'm being a bit conservative, because any more than kind of half the car over the line, you're running a huge risk of being disqualified. So the last few corners are pretty straightforward. Take your time. The car will understeer quite a bit, but it won't snap or spin around very easily. And those are those 2 laps. The third lap was a bit of a mess, but that's enough for a gold. It's not too difficult. It may take you a few tries. Yeah, just keep practicing. You'll get used to the downforce and the grip, and you have to get used to the car sliding, but there you have it. I'll be uploading the other events if you need help with those alongside this one.